What's up, guys? This is another crossover. I'm back with a new episode of What If Naruto Was the King of All Saiyans Part 2. And if you're enjoying this video, consider a like and review my channel and like my content, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for my crossover fictions. Now let's begin this new video.
Chapter 7. The Z Saga. Goku and Chi-Chi enjoyed a wonderful honeymoon after being married when they consummated their love on their first night together. After a few days, Chi-Chi sprouted a tail and underwent a dragon wish-induced transformation, transforming into a pure-blooded Saiyan. Chi-Chi, for some reason, didn't seem to mind. She felt stronger than ever and became even vicious in bed. They stayed together for a few weeks and continued to mate like animals. Goku decided to take Chi-Chi to see Bulma after a couple more days had gone. Grandpa Gohan was present for Goku's wedding because he was rejuvenated at the thought of seeing his great-grandchild. When the elder spotted Chi-Chi and Goku again, he told Goku that girls developing tails after doing the deed isn't normal. Goku began to be concerned about Chi-Chi's condition. Grandpa Gohan, on the other hand, was able to calm him down by saying, "It might not necessarily be a bad thing. How about you go over to Bulma's house and get her a checkup for Chi-Chi?" The next thing Goku remembered, he was seated in Dr. Brief's lab when Bulma appeared, dressed in a lab coat and carrying a clipboard with some papers attached to it. Chi-Chi's face was brilliant red and filled with joy. "Congratulations, Goku, you're going to be a father," Bulma exclaimed, an envious grin on her face. Goku leapt up in pleasure, his eyes widening and his hands wrapping around Chi-Chi's waist, carefully raising her as if he was concerned about using too much effort. Goku sat her down and rested his ear on her stomach, saying, "Really, I'm going to become a father? Grandpa claims you can hear the heartbeat." Bulma sighed and smiled, "Yes, Goku, Chi-Chi is pregnant, and it takes a long for the heart to form." "Then what about Chi-Chi's condition?" Goku inquired, his voice trembling. "Well, she's perfectly healthy. The only difference appears to be that her genetic code has somehow added an entirely new layer of genomes. This isn't a mutation, but rather a transformation," Bulma explained as she read out her findings. "Is she all right?" Goku inquired once again. "She's more than okay now. She's more than human. Her blood has a few similar markers to yours," Bulma replied, scratching her head, puzzled as to how this was possible. Goku embraced her and exclaimed, "Thank you, Bulma. I have no idea how to repay you." "Okay, let me down. Thank you." Goku let her go. Bulma thought of something while she adjusted her hair and remarked, "If you want to thank me, you could introduce me to that Yamcha guy Krillin trains with." "I don't know, Bulma, that guy is literally afraid of women. He won't go near them." Goku massaged the back of his neck. "I need a boyfriend. I've been cooped up in Dad's lab for too long," Bulma complained. "You adore it." In the distance, Dr. Briefs yelled. Naruto had left them with enough stuff to keep them occupied, but Bulma had virtually forgotten about Naruto and had no idea he was in charge of all her father's new projects. She simply imagined it was something her father had created. Bulma grinned at her father's honest charge, "Yeah, I do." Turning back to Goku, Bulma remarked solemnly, "You should call me when he's about to be born, just in case there are any complications." Goku nodded and thanked her one more before departing. After going home, the timeline continued as usual until Gohan was born. Another distinction was that Bulma was present and assisted them in deciding on a name. She noticed how well Gohan got along with his grandpa while Goku and Chi-Chi were attempting to think of one. "How about Gohan Jr.?" Bulma said, smiling. "It would be an honor," remarked the Ox King, smiling. Goku noticed baby Gohan laughing at the name and lifting him up, saying, "Do you like that, huh, Gohan?" "Ahaha." Baby Gohan burst out laughing. "I guess it's decided then," Chi-Chi remarked, smiling lovingly. Years passed, and Gohan turned 5. Despite his intentions to be a scholar, he frequently stole away to train with his grandfather. When he learned that his father was the strongest person on the planet, his Saiyan blood began to boil at the idea of outperforming him. Gohan adored both studying and his mother but longed to be as strong as his father, even if it meant going against his mother's desires. So, not even Chi-Chi could prevent him from studying the fundamentals of martial arts. Grandpa Gohan had a good time with his grandson and even created a game out of sneaking around Chi-Chi to practice. Goku eventually received a call from Krillin, who organized a meeting, and this time, Chi-Chi joined him. During this time, a brainwashed Turles landed on Earth. Turles never discovered the Tree of Might as a result of his experience with the enigmatic Purple Man, and his power remained at 1,700. After landing on Earth, he used his scouter to detect Piccolo, just as in the original timeline, and Turles exclaimed, "A Namekian? What is one doing out here?" "Oh, so there you are." His scouter beeped as the two were preparing to combat. "Green Man, you're a lucky man to be alive today." Turles launched a surprise attack on Piccolo as he turned around, without caring if he was dead or alive. Turles laughed as he flew off towards Kame House Island, ignorant that he had slain one of Piccolo's split bodies. When he arrived, everyone was taken aback by his similarity to Goku. While Turles replied, "Of course there is a resemblance, I am his uncle after all," Krillin was sent flying into the side of the house because he went too close to his tail. "But you're still too young," Bulma yelled from inside the house. "Saiyans do not age until we are very old, we maintain our youthful appearance as long as we train and fight. Now, are you going to join me, Kakarot, or am I going to have to get rough with you?" Turles asked Goku. "Humph. Kakarot, I'm Goku, not this. I don't care if I'm a Saiyan, I'm not going to assist you murder the people of his world." Goku raised his fist to fight, but Turles ran quicker than he could see and hit Goku in the gut so hard that he keeled over and barfed up blood and saliva. Turles then grabbed Gohan and slapped Chi-Chi, infuriating both Goku and Gohan. Turles smiled as both of their energy blazed. "Interesting," he remarked this while admiring Gohan's strength. Power level of 1,100 inches. Grabbing Gohan's tail, young Saiyan's battle deserted him as his power level sank to 300, and you may hide your power level, 521. So weak. Author note: because Goku still has his tail, I had to select how much a boost it offers, so I chose something modest, giving them a quarter of their full power as a bonus. Goku's place was 417 at the Raditz Saga, so Goku's power makes sense with a 1.25 times boost. "You have 1 week to kill all the Earthlings on this planet," Turles stated, holding his finger up to Gohan's head and charging up his ki. "If you fail, your son will suffer the consequences." Goku's rage cooled, and he gripped his fist so tightly that blood flowed from his palm. Goku quickly went to pick up Chi-Chi and pulled out his last 2 Senzu beans as he watched his kid being taken away by the threat of death. He sensed his wife's power increase after feeding them to her and Krillin. Chi-Chi received a Zenkai boost and became slightly stronger, but only little. Her power increased from 145 to 380. Piccolo finally appeared, seeing how the situation was developing. Since Krillin was fully recovered and the bald martial artist realized Bulma was still single, he tried to impress her by throwing off his nervousness and offering to accompany her. "Good, we'll take any assistance we can get. Chi-Chi, I'll bring Gohan back," Goku said after a brief pause. "I swear." Chi-Chi was still crying as she nodded and felt Goku embrace her. "If you're finished now, I'd like to exact my vengeance," Piccolo said with a dissatisfied frown. Goku sighed and summoned Nimbus. "Sorry, Goku, I can't stand on it and want to preserve my energy," Krillin stated as he hopped upon it. "Just hold on tight." As they took off, Goku said. After a few minutes of flying, they decided to grasp his tail. "Let's just hope he hasn't trained out that weakness yet," Krillin muttered as he devised a strategy. "How about we go, Solar? Flare him, then grab his tail," Krillin replied, raising his index finger. "Worth a shot," Goku replied as they arrived at their destination. Goku, Krillin, and Piccolo charged into battle without hesitation. Gohan was unconscious and inside Turles' space pod, which was a long way from the conflict. When Goku discovered that his son was still alive, he clenched his fist and ordered that Raditz hand over his son. While Piccolo and Goku worked together to defeat Turles, Krillin sat back and waited for the right opportunity to use the solar flare technique. The three switched back and forth, and everything played out exactly as it should have. Until Goku summoned a full-powered Super Kamehameha and chased Turles with it. Krillin came out and utilized the solar flare to blind Turles as soon as he deflected it. As the possessed Saiyan's vision faded, he swung out furiously, striking Krillin and sending him flying into a tree, knocking him out with terrible injuries. Goku snatched his tail and yanked him down. Just as in the original event, Goku let go after hearing Turles plead forgiveness and played the "I'm your uncle" card. Gohan snapped and broke out of the space pod after the two took another thrashing. This time, his power level was 2,100. He smashed into Turles with a flying head while screaming, "Don't hurt my daddy." Turles was seriously weakened as a result of the blow. Piccolo used the opportunity to finish charging his special beam gun, while Goku used it to hold him in a full-body grapple. Asterisk 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 K asterisk 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 asterisk. Years ago on Namek, Naruto continued to train the two newly awakened Saiyans. Bardock and Jine had developed by leaps and bounds in the first 2 years. The timeless training grounds certainly aided their rapid advancement. Naruto had told Nappa and Raditz that they needed to rest and build up their S-cells before they could unlock the Super Saiyan form. Naruto made it a point to ease off on his workouts as well. During the final year, however, Naruto brutalized both Bardock and Jine on a daily basis. There wasn't a single second when they weren't on the verge of death, and every time they felt the chilly touch of death's embrace, Vegeta cured them and restarted the process. Nappa and Raditz took up their training once they were able to defend themselves, while Vegeta moved away to focus on becoming a Super Saiyan. He imagined his biggest fears taking away everything he cared about, including Bulma, his future children, and his friends and rivals. Then the image of Moro appeared, the one who would beat both Goku and Vegeta after the power tournament. The training grounds began to change Naruto's mental condition, driving it to go insane with horrific pictures and experiences. Everyone came to a halt in their training since they could feel Naruto's power level increasing. His aura pierced the sky as he concentrated all of his force into his spine. As he felt his tail tingle, Naruto let out a long-winded scream, his hair turned gold, and his eyes went greenish-blue. Naruto smiled, the raw power of the first Super Saiyan form coursing through him. Vegeta? That shape? While the rest murmured and pointed at Naruto, Bardock managed to say up. I have ascended to the first plateau, and I, Naruto, king of all Saiyans, have finally become a Super Saiyan. Naruto believed that the realm was assisting him in adjusting to his new shape. The Saiyan training grounds emitted a weird kind of invisible pressure that could delay the transition phronum from dissipating due to a lack of focus, allowing the practitioner to sustain the transformation until they become accustomed to it. Naruto repeatedly powered down and turned it back on until he could do it at will. What exactly did you mean by the first step? Raditz inquired. Super Saiyan is not our ultimate form. Beyond the Super Saiyan state, I believe a higher form of it exists, a Super Saiyan 2, possibly a third and a fourth. Everyone was stunned by the prospect of increasing the great strength they already felt. It appears that the Super Saiyan transformation adds a 50-fold multiplier to all of my abilities, Naruto explained as he waved his palm, causing a windstorm to blow over the landscape. Does this mean you can defeat Frieza now? Nappa inquired. With ease, Naruto replied, grinning. But for now, it's time to go to Earth and train up Kakarot, he added, turning to the sky. With a saute, Bardock, Jine, and Raditz smiled and thanked Naruto. The Saiyans left the training grounds, nodding in appreciation. Naruto, on the other hand, took the two new Saiyans to Guru before they left. Unleash their potential. Guru's body had slimmed down but remained enormous. He was 8 feet tall and sat in his chair with fresh enthusiasm. After discovering Bardock and Jine's latent potential, Naruto tossed them back into the training grounds and had them train alone for another 2 years inside, and only 2 days outside. While he waited, Naruto considered what he would wish for. Naruto made 3 more wishes before leaving Namek. After hearing how Naruto had fooled the dragon the previous time, Guru imposed further limits on the Dragon Balls to prevent this from happening again in the future. It was practically the same as having endless wishes. Guru made certain that his new laws would prevent the dragon from being used in this manner by wicked people. Naruto clicked his teeth and burnt his new wish list, acting like a grouchy old man. They summoned the dragon, and Nail assisted him once more in translating. The first wish was for him to establish a habitable world that is perfectly suited to both the habitation and evolution of the Saiyan race, and to do it by replacing Venus in Earth's solar system, without interfering with the flow of the other planet's orbit of the Sun. The second was to create a livable moon around Venus that grows nothing but sensu beans. The moon must be positioned so that the planet has a perfect wobble in 4 seasons. The third is that both the planet and moon would arrive fully stocked with empty cities, furnishing technology comparable to the Galactic Patrol and Planetary Trade Organization, enough vegetation and wildlife to support the entire Saiyan race, and finally to make all of the sustenance very delicious to their taste buds, as well as human taste buds. After 2 days of waiting, the group wished the Namekians farewell and returned to Earth. Everyone has gained new power levels. 10,500,000 Naruto. Raditz. 8.9 million Bardock. 8,100,000 Jine. 6,500,000. Nappa. 7,300,000 Naruto smiled as he watched their progress before teleporting everyone to Earth, only to find a distressing scenario. Goku was currently dying on the ground, a massive hole in his chest. Turles was dead, lying face down in a pool of his own blood. Krillin was crying and holding Goku's hand, while Piccolo stood over him, disappointed. Despite achieving his lifelong ambition, he received no enjoyment from it. "I'm sorry, but I don't believe I'll be able to make it." "Krillin, tell Chi-Chi I'm sorry, and take care of Gohan for me," Goku thought as he approached death. Just as the lights started to dim, Naruto appeared above him and cast a full heal spell. Piccolo stepped back in horror as Goku opened his eyes. Not only had Goku just gotten back up entirely healed, but his strength level had skyrocketed. Goku's original strength level was 521, but it has now increased to 1640. The Zenkai he lost by dying in the original timeline made him as powerful as his brother in the old narrative. Krillin grabbed Goku and hugged him, exclaiming, "You're alive. Who exactly are you?" When everyone else appeared by Naruto, Goku asked, looking at Naruto with a thirst for war. Jine was about to call out to him when Bardock interrupted him. She jumped on Goku and began crying again, and with Jine's strength, Goku was powerless to take her off. "Stay a while, Namekian. We have much to talk about," Naruto stated as he patted Piccolo on the shoulder. "Namekian? That's the second time I've been addressed as such today. What exactly is a Namekian?" Piccolo inquired, sensing a familiarity with the word. "Yes, I just returned from your homeworld, lovely place," Naruto remarked with a smile. "There are many nice people there, as well as gorgeous green-tinted oceans and skies, blue-colored grass, and emerald blue vegetation. 10 out of 10 for a tourist attraction." Piccolo was sweating profusely, unable to move a millimeter despite feeling Naruto's energy. "Kakarot, my baby boy," Jine sobbed. "Ow, how many times must I say this? I'm not the Kakarot kind. Hello, my name is Goku." Goku reacted by attempting to push his mother away from him and failed miserably. "I'm not sure why, but the inner Vegeta in me is enjoying this situation," Naruto thought as he smiled contentedly. "It's Kakarot." Jine expressed concern for her parents. "Parents?" Piccolo and Krillin exclaimed in amazement. First, it's a man claiming to be Goku's uncle, and now it's his parents. What comes next, a long-lost brother? Krillin said sarcastically. I'm your older brother Kakarot," Raditz coughed. Krillin collapsed in shock. "Me and my big mouth," he said. "Uncle. Well, if it's not my little brother Turles," Bardock said as he moved up to investigate the body. Naruto approached and attempted to cast Zoriku, aka Revive. Turles, who had lately died, had his body restored and unexpectedly opened his eyes. As the hole in his chest remained, he let out a gut-wrenching scream, and Naruto instantly performed a full heal to restore Turles to full health. Naruto quickly scanned Turles' physique and saw that his ki had dropped to a meager 10 in power level. It appears that there are some disadvantages to resurrecting someone in this manner. Given that you'd kill your own nephew, I believe it's best that I use that spell. Turles, you will be the test subject for my freshly produced spell. During his time training on Namek, he just so happened to have created a spell particularly for such an occasion, with the notion of what he should do to the Saiyans if he ever decided to completely restore the Saiyan race. Clean slate. Removes any negative feelings and memories associated with them. Fundamental functions such as motor abilities, basic life necessities, IQ, and mental maturity are not affected. Those with greater might are immune to this technique. Turles went wide-eyed and collapsed, exclaiming, "Where am I? Who are you? Who am I?" "Your name is Turles, and you are a Saiyan and my younger brother," Bardock stated, shaking his head. "It was my responsibility that you ended up where you did." "Brother?" Turles cocked his head while everyone else gaped at Naruto. "Bardock, you're in charge of educating your brother," Naruto replied, shaking his head. "We'll meet again at the lookout, Kakarot." When Naruto spotted Turles' scouter, he sighed and destroyed it, saying, "I don't suppose you forgot to mention the Dragon Balls earlier?" "I did," Krillin gulped. "Why? What is your name?" Goku sucked. "Like you, we are Saiyans. We just don't do the whole planet conquering thing anymore," Vegeta explained. "So not all Saiyans are like what he said?" Goku was taken aback. No, in fact, everyone you see here has sworn off that path, Naruto stated with a shake of his head. With a smile, Goku inquired, "Are you really my mother? Why don't you think of us, Kakarot?" Jin inquired, nodding. "When I was a baby, I fell down a mountain and hit my head," Goku explained, startling everyone even more, "and I probably lost all my memories since then." "So, what? You're still a Saiyan," Naruto said as he approached Goku and grabbed his wrist before saying, "You know what? For the time being, I'm going to put my plans to speak with Kami on wait. In my opinion, you should accompany me for a while." With a wave of his palm, Naruto summoned his timeless training grounds from his pocket space. He then changed the clock inside to be 1000 times faster, making 1 day equal 95 days fewer than 3 years. Then Naruto led Goku inside to begin his training. Naruto's desire to marry Bulma was the only thing stronger than his desire to elevate Goku to battle-level power. Without a doubt, Goku was a prodigy. He was always able to hold on and make it to the end. Even when there is no hope left, he always manages to wrest victory from the clutches of defeat. Naruto recognizes Goku for the genius that he is, whether through battle or because his actions don't matter to him. This is the Kakarot Naruto wished to fight. This extraordinary and pure intellect is what prompted Naruto to play his one and only true competitor. Goku felt a heavyweight pressing down on him, grinding into his muscles and blood as if cleaning him from the inside out. He was looking at the location they had entered. Goku ran around inspecting the mansions. Because he still possessed his tail, Naruto compared the pure-hearted Saiyan to a hyperactive monkey. Wow! Senzu beans abound, so much food. These houses are extremely gorgeous. Hey, where did that door come from? Why do you pull that door out of here? Why does this place remind you of the Spirit and Time Room? Kakarot, do you intend to exercise or not? Naruto remarked while throwing a mild tantrum. Goku grinned as he went back to Naruto, "I'd rather just fight you first." Naruto muttered, "Remember," as he chuckled and made a foolish face at him. "Remember what?" Goku inquired, taking his typical combat stance. When Goku appeared behind Vegeta, a beam of ki punched a big hole in his back. Goku had fallen and was on the point of death when Vegeta used a complete heal spell on him. "You requested this," Goku cried back. "I died," Naruto answered with cocky smugness. "No, but you nearly did. Do you feel any better, Kakarot? Tell me, Naruto," as he smiles at Goku. "Yes, if I had to guess, I'd say I'm 2 to 3 times stronger than before," replied Goku as he leapt back up and checked his physique. "Never forget how Zenkai boosts work. It's one of our kind's best traits," Naruto said before getting into Saiyan physiology. "Wow! My life has so much more meaning now," Goku exclaimed, seemingly unaware that Naruto had nearly murdered him. "Listen up," Naruto responded with a smile, "I'll train you here until you can give me a respectable challenge." "Well, then, show me your full strength," Goku said with a grin. "Very well," chuckled Naruto. By totally releasing his ki, Goku sent himself crashing backward like a rag in the wind, and Naruto didn't hold back as he morphed into a Super Saiyan, further stunning the already dazed Goku. The Super Saiyan transformation is underway, multiplying all of your skills by 50 times the maximum of your basic form. Goku was surprised to see that he was standing on an anthill rather than Mount Fuji, as he had previously assumed. "So, are you scared?" Naruto questioned as he shut off the power. Goku was shivering, not because he was terrified, but because he was delighted. "Naruto, fight me. I'm incredibly delighted to believe that with training, we can reach such heights," Goku said while gallantly changing positions and resuming his posture. "Kakarot, prepare to go to hell." Vegeta ran forward after casting Re-Heal on Goku. Before the end of the first day, all of Goku's allies had arrived, including Yamcha, Bulma, Chi-Chi, Roshi, Tien, Chaozu, and others. He didn't have much success chatting with Bulma, but it appears he still ended up becoming Master Roshi's disciple, despite his great antipathy to women. Chi-Chi was shocked to learn that Goku had so many living cousins, and his parents were even more surprised by Chi-Chi's Saiyan status. "I have no idea. One day I was a human, and the next." Chi-Chi paused and concluded, "You know." She gestured with her pinky. "I acquired a tail all of a sudden." The Saiyans were all stunned. Because they didn't realize it was triggered by Naruto's request, they all assumed it was merely a natural reaction to Saiyans mating with humans. "Yes, we don't know what caused that, but when Chi-Chi became pregnant, her entire body went through a molecular metamorphosis, according to Bulma. Jine spun in circles before realizing Chi-Chi's power level was only around 350. Jine didn't seem to mind Chi-Chi's obvious lack of expertise as she happily checked her daughter-in-law. It's difficult for me to see our Goku marrying such a wonderful woman. Jine smiled and said to her adorable grandson, Raditz, you should find a wife and give us some grandkids too. Raditz could only respond with a tanned face and a drop of sweat on his brow. Back on Mount Paozu, Raditz awkwardly grinned as he witnessed Chi-Chi allow Jine to give her grandchild a fond embrace. You're my grandma? She inquired. Gohan grinned as he made the remark. Your grandfather Bardock is that. Jine transported him over to Bardock. Hi, kid. He received a smack on the head from Bardock, who said, I see your hair looks like a mix of more Jines and your mom's, but you have your father's eyes. Chi-Chi grinned as she watched Gohan introduce his relatives, saying, This is your uncle Raditz, that's your grand-uncle Turles. Jine grinned as she tried to calm Gohan down by explaining that King Naruto had erased his memories in order for him to try living a good life once more, which is why he was oblivious of his early deeds. Besides, now that all of his strength is gone, even your mother could beat him. Gohan buried his face in his grandmother's shoulder as Raditz gazed at him fiercely. Listen up, kid, you're a Saiyan. You should never show fear to any opponent, only a desire to overcome them in combat, Raditz grunted before patting him on the head. Raditz felt a chill run down his spine and inquired, Excuse me, Raditz, was it? Please avoid. You directing the actions of my Gohan. He's being raised by me to be a scholar rather than a combatant. As he stared at Chi-Chi, Raditz pondered why she frightened him. She barely has a power level of 350. Chi-Chi inquired, So, where is Goku right now? Kakarot is practicing with the king right now, Jine said, holding Gohan up on her arm. Chi-Chi nodded to Bulma and said, Well, then, we'll just wait right here until he returns. Bulma smiled as she removed some dino capsules from her backpack and summoned a few buildings. All of Goku's friends had decided to camp outside the single entrance in the middle of a green field until the two returned. The two opposing Saiyans practiced together for 5.6 years inside the training grounds, which equated to 2 days outdoors. Despite the name, it was more comparable to a one-sided bashing until a certain point. Despite his defeat, Naruto had to admit that Goku's battle skills in martial arts were absolutely top-notch. Goku would surely be a fantastic training partner if their powers were equivalent. Naruto had given Goku heavier and more sturdy clothing, so he paused in a ready stance. Both Goku and Naruto were standing with 500 times the force of Earth's gravity pulling down on them, as well as their weighted clothes. Despite going through a truly harrowing experience in which his life and death were always on the line, Goku never once allowed the fear of death to enter his mind. Despite Naruto continually pushing him to the brink of death because he was confronting a tough opponent, Goku responded to the training like a sponge to water, and he had continued to develop continuously and without end. Naruto pondered as he sensed Goku's ki. Goku had constantly proved his capacity to advance and surpass his restrictions, and now he had conquered Naruto, worthy to be my rival. When Goku nearly transformed into a Super Saiyan during one of their battles, Naruto was taken aback. Goku had only been able to maintain the form for a short time. However, because his body wasn't prepared, he was unable to complete the transformation and instead found himself in the pseudo-Super Saiyan form. As his hair spiked up and remained gold, Goku's power surged from around 900,000 to around 22 million. Thanks to the training ground, Goku was able to retain that form for around 10 minutes, and for the first time during their struggle, he was able to begin attacking Naruto in response. Goku chastised Naruto for these 10 minutes, and Naruto responded by fortifying his defenses. The damage Goku was wreaking was increasing faster than Naruto could heal it. To win, Naruto had to transform into a Super Saiyan before he could knock Goku out of the fight. But he didn't stop there. After shattering Goku's bones, Naruto unleashed a Gallic gun blast that nearly killed the Saiyan raised on Earth. Naruto landed next to his opponent and utilized his ki to sense his heartbeat while waiting for the chance to heal him. Naruto, who was so tuned into Goku's senses that he knew exactly when his heart would stop beating, gave him the biggest Zenkai boost of his life. Goku had finally surpassed the million power level mark, according to his most recent Zenkai, which put him at 2.1 million, thanks to his never-ending stamina and resolve. Naruto's basic power climbed to around 22.3 million when he got the final Zenkai from Goku's Pseudo Super Saiyan Assault, and he continued to maintain his own training and spar with Goku on a regular basis. Naruto also noticed that the Zenkais were boosting him less regularly. In fact, he needed Goku to be in Super Saiyan form before he could begin his own unique training approach. "We should take a short pause," Naruto grinned and added, "There is someone I would like you to meet." Naruto then used his newfound knowledge of how to travel to various dimensions to unleash his zoom spell. He could only teleport to places he had already been, but unlike the quick transfer, this one could target specific individuals and shift realities, allowing him to leave Universe 7 and return to the chosen area. Goku noticed Naruto gently speaking with the giant Namekian as he stood in front of the enormous elder. Following a brief introduction, Guru placed his palm on Goku's head to unleash his potential since he was pleased to see a Saiyan with such a pure heart. His strength level soon surged by 7.8 times, reaching 14.9 million almost instantly, and continued to grow until it reached 22,890,000. When things finally settled down, Goku's overall modifier had increased by 10.9 points. Naruto was more delighted with Goku's progress than with any other individual he had trained with. Even the fact that Goku was now stronger than him didn't concern him because he would eventually get stronger as a result. After expressing "thank you" to Guru, Naruto headed for the training grounds, where he taught Goku how to integrate his soul and body over the next few months. Goku's power improved as a result of the same training he had on Yardrat. Instead of indicating what was required, Naruto encouraged Goku to focus on becoming a Super Saiyan by summoning his greatest fears and focusing on his wrath. This time, Naruto saw the training grounds in operation as Goku focused on envisioning the worst-case scenario, making his surroundings grow blurry. The overwhelming delusions that suddenly struck the pure-hearted Saiyan's mentality were so persuasive that Goku mistook what he saw for real. In that vision, he saw everyone he cared about being slaughtered and felt powerless to oppose the evildoer until he remembered the Dragon Balls. The strange, unstoppable monster that was playing havoc in Goku's skull destroyed the Dragon Balls, and the enigmatic entity began to chuckle and accuse Goku of being weak, taunting him and joking that, "I would make you watch all over again, if he returned them." Goku's body exploded into life as a magnificent golden ki rose into the sky, resembling the collision of a nuclear explosion with a tsunami. "Congratulations, Kakarot, you've become a Super Saiyan," Naruto said, laughing. When Goku clenched his fist, the area around it burst, and he turned to examine his hands. Incredible, such power. Goku turned to face Vegeta with a big smile. "I know you want to test the limits of your power, but so do I," Naruto stated, transforming into a Super Saiyan and assuming his combat posture. The two could feel their Saiyan blood stirring as they prepared for the confrontation. Naruto started the game by swinging out first with lightning speed, thrusting out his elbow, and launching himself towards Goku like a rocket. As a sonic boom and shockwaves were produced by the collision, Goku's outstretched hand redirected some of Vegeta's force to the side. Naruto lowered his body to do a spinning low kick, causing him to blur. Goku jumped up, just dodging the kick with a direct ki blast towards Vegeta. Naruto deflected the ki blast with his hand before rushing towards Goku. Their bodies began to blur as numerous explosions made entirely of kinetic energy resonated over the timeless training grounds. In a matter of nanoseconds, the two warriors exchanged hundreds of strikes, each landing a flawless block or counterattack. The many shock waves of force produced by their fists colliding resonated around them like thunder. Naruto appeared to be on equal footing with Goku. He had already surpassed Goku's strength and was encouraging his fellow Saiyan to grow even stronger. Without regard for their lives or safety, the two sparred with kicks, punches, knees, elbows, and grappling attempts. The expression, "Solar Flare," Goku yelled, "Ow, I look," shouted Naruto. When he became haughty, Goku charged against him. When his senses screamed, "Run!" Halfway there, Goku came to a halt and bolted back. "You almost had me there, you." "Stop pretending to be weak, Naruto. Really acting as if there's a genuine debate going on. That's dirty play." Goku stomped his feet and raised his fist. "Sorry, I know that position, but I wasn't going to let you blind me," Naruto joked as he opened one eye. "Oh, certainly, never forget, deception is a component of battle as well," Naruto said as he pointed aloft. Naruto appeared behind Goku using his rapid transmission, but Goku's body faded just as he was ready to punch. As Goku approached from behind, Naruto inquired, "When did you discover it?" Goku stroked his cheek and grinned, "When you described the foundations of the technique." "Excellent," chuckled Naruto. "You successfully completed the second stage of instant transmission with just a few hints. Are you offended that I adopted your method?" Goku was visibly taken aback. "No, I wanted to fight against this Kakarot," you respond. "You are well knowledgeable in martial arts. I have to give it to you. Your natural talent and instincts are genuinely astounding when compared to how I study, despite the fact that I am more methodical." Naruto began to gather strength inside himself. Naruto's knuckles cracked as he remarked, "You really are the ideal person to help me improve." Naruto was being truthful. He could surely benefit from Goku's assistance in continuously increasing his power. Even though they were still fighting, they both began to acquire strength. "No more holding back now," Goku said as he took the Kamehameha pose. The two gained power as Naruto fired his Gaelic gun. Far away, vibrant purple and blue clashed with a loud shout of their attacks. After a prolonged struggle and all-out attack, the center of the beams witnessed a cataclysmic explosion. Goku and Naruto refused to give up. They continued to give their all to the onslaught until the Gaelic gun and Kamehameha attacks exploded like a gigantic explosion. The two pressure waves shot outward, shaking the surrounding environment like an earthquake. As the sky darkened and lightning bolts flashed erratically, the ground rocked beneath their boots. Goku and Naruto smacked each other in the face as they jumped into the carnage created by their ki blasts. "No reason," Naruto laughed, "it just means we have about a year to prepare for Frieza's arrival. He'll come to this realm and attempt to conquer it, as well as use the Dragon Balls to desire for immortality. We beat this guy. How strong could he be?" And Goku stated that he was still attempting to flee his mother's clutches. "Kakarot, you should know that Frieza is around 12 million times stronger than his current condition," Naruto laughed. The wind pressure from the strike dissolved the leftover ki from the explosion, turning the once chaotic and destructive scene into one of peace. Naruto gasped for air when Goku punched him in the gut as the two began trading furious blows. Naruto pulled himself back up, gritting his teeth, and punched Goku in the chin with all his power. Goku clenched his teeth and stomped his boots on the ground to keep his body from flying away in response to the strength of the attack. As Naruto's assault pulled his neck upward, forcing it to physically strain before nearly breaking, Goku grabbed his opponent's shoulders and slammed his head straight down on top of Vegeta's skull. Naruto groaned as his entire body trembled, his knees trembled, and his vision became blurry. Naruto bit his tongue to keep himself awake, using the pain to jolt him out of his trance and half-collapsed form. Vegeta recovered by standing on one toe and directing all of his strength into one arm. Naruto threw a punch at Goku, twisting his fist, and sank a spinning hook into his abdomen. Goku awoke from his trance by coughing up a mouthful of air and shaking his head. Later, he twisted his knee when elevating it. Goku whirled around and sprang backward before kicking Naruto in the side of the head. The kick landed with a resounding whop. Naruto tipped over, placed his palm on the ground, and delivered a powerful leaping 1-2 punch into Goku's face. A fist landed on Goku's lower jaw, followed by another that smacked him in the dome's side. Goku struck Naruto in the face with a strong punch, causing his skull to shatter back and tilt sideways. Naruto's head dragged his body back, but he focused all of his energy on regaining his shape and stomping his foot back to the ground before shrinking into a classic boxing peekaboo stance. Naruto dashed into the area around Goku and threw a running right-handed punch to the ribs. As Goku slumped, Naruto rotated his body and fired a left straight. Naruto's punch landed with a loud pap, directly between Goku's eyes. Goku threw his body back against the pain and extended his arms, palms wide. Goku seized Naruto's head and smacked his ears with a furious thunderclap before kicking Naruto in the kidney. While bending forward, Naruto jumped headfirst into Goku's chin. As Goku reclined from the punch, Naruto unleashed a fast spinning back kick to his waist, sending him flying into the distance. As he was flung into the air, Goku observed Naruto behind him, trailing a scorching purple aura. As Goku unleashed hundreds of ki blasts at Naruto, the Saiyan King began dodging and pounding his way through the torrent of wild and chaotically ordered explosions. Naruto shot an energy beam through the ki blast barrage, causing hundreds of little explosions to form in a line surrounding them. Goku then used his quick transmission ability to appear above Naruto before hammering both of his feet into Naruto's spine. Naruto's body bounced off the ground, yet he continued to move. He threw all of his weight to the side and dove as soon as he touched the ground to escape getting hit by the Kamehameha he could feel approaching behind him. Naruto's body delivered a strong kick to the side of Goku's face after disappearing and reappearing. Goku, like Naruto, dropped to the ground upon being struck by the Big Bang barrage. The expression, Super Kamehame, Kamehame Gaelic. Ha! The two cried at each other before collapsing in a massive explosion that shook the entire realm. After more than 3 days, the two realized they couldn't continue to assault and beat each other down. Naruto's mana was completely spent, rendering him unable to recuperate, and their final attack nearly killed them both. They had severe internal bleeding, shredded muscles and ligaments, numerous cuts and bruises, and several dozen burn marks. Almost all of their bones were smashed or broken. Naruto and Goku had to work together to crawl to the nearest residence. After dragging their injured bodies inside, they ate a senzu bean and received a wild Zenkai boost as a result. After healing their injuries, the two Saiyans quickly began their training. Simply put, Goku and Naruto did not want to give up. They were pushing each other to make ridiculous amounts of progress and were eager to see how far they could go. Naruto decided to carry a large stockpile of senzu in his pocket region, as well as a spare in the pocket of his armor, because he never wanted to be caught without mana again. After changing back into Super Saiyans, they grinned at each other in their usual positions, then launched an attack and resumed training. Naruto and Goku returned after spending 2 more days outside. They had spent nearly a year inside in all. When they exited the timeless training grounds, they were both in the perfected Super Saiyan state. Naruto and Goku's new base power level is 30 million, or 1.5 million in Super Saiyan form. They were able to unleash all of Super Saiyan 1's power after mastering the form, albeit at the expense of their agility and speed. Both received a 75 times boost rather than a 50 times boost, raising their maximum power levels to 2.250 billion. Naruto and Goku noticed the stunned emotions on everyone's faces. Chi-Chi enjoyed Goku's new look, even if she hadn't yet heard that children bleaching their hair were misbehaving. In fact, Chi-Chi was so taken with Goku's transformation that she couldn't stop admiring his figure. It's possible, however, that her new DNA had something to do with it. They had not aged due to the special properties of the timeless training grounds, but their bodies had become much more developed as a result of their constant training. They appeared young and even underweight due to their age, but Naruto and Goku actually resembled somewhat weakened versions of their Super Saiyan God Red forms. Raditz and the rest of Goku's family were amazed that Goku had already acquired the Super Saiyan form and that his strength genuinely surpassed that of their million. Goku, Chi-Chi exclaimed, "What happened to your hair?" "Oh, this?" you exclaim. "Naruto says it's the crystallization of ki in our blood that causes our hair and eyes to turn the golden color of a Super Saiyan's ki," Goku explained as his hair returned to normal. Chi-Chi turned to face Naruto, thanking him for saving her husband. "Kakarot, your woman is a Saiyan, care to explain?" Naruto asked, trying not to chuckle when he observed Chi-Chi's tale. "Well, some things happened with Chi-Chi getting pregnant. I think Bulma said her body underwent some kind of metamorphosis." Goku scratched the back of his neck. "I said metamorphosis, as in it added data, not mutated," said the speaker. Bulma yelled in Goku's ear. Naruto smiled as he continued, "It's been a while since our last meeting, Ms. Briefs. You've grown to be more beautiful than I could have anticipated. Do you remember me?" Bulma flushed tremendously and scantily looked around before pointing to herself and responding, "Huh. Are you speaking to me? We met when you were a kid, right?" Naruto gave a nod. "I'm about 4 years old. I sold our spaceships to your father, and he built us a new one when we first visited Earth." Bulma struggled to remember. "Wait, so my father was telling the truth when he said a group of aliens visited us before?" Bulma exclaimed, as if she had suddenly received an idea. "I'm sorry," Naruto said as he shut off the power and extended his hand. "I promised to come, but a number of factors prevented me from doing so." As Bulma reddened, he shook her hand. "Would you like to go out to supper sometime?" In response to Naruto's question, everyone's eyes widened. "It's a date then," Naruto said, catching Bulma's attention as she looked at him admiringly. Bulma nodded. Naruto smiled and seemed to be cool, but he was anything but on the inside. "Why yes. I finished." Yamcha, suck it, Naruto thought as he turned to observe Yamcha's glum expression. Bulma seemed satisfied, and as she studied Vegeta, she exclaimed, "Wow, he's just my type. I'd want to borrow Goku for a little while longer after the introductions," Naruto said with a smile. "You are in charge of the timeless training grounds, Bardock." Naruto shrunk the door to the size of a palm and gave it to Bardock. "I hear your son was abducted as a hostage, was that Chi-Chi?" Bardock said to his daughter after receiving it. Before Bardock reprimanded Chi-Chi, "You have the physique of a Saiyan." Chi-Chi nodded her head. "Take advantage of this time to train if you want to keep your son safe." Chi-Chi knew exactly what he meant. Having her own child ripped away by Turles was the worst feeling she'd ever had. Nonetheless, wanted, become a scholar rather than a fighter, and time was a huge impediment. She perked up, though, as Naruto explained how the training room worked and how Gohan could learn and practice at the same time. "I can tell you this. There are people out there who are even more powerful and wicked than Frieza," Naruto said, "so I'm going to take Goku to get training from King Kai, a god who is above even Kami," as everyone cringed. "You two are coming as well," Naruto remarked as he turned to face Piccolo and Krillin. Goku grinned as he asked, "Hey Piccolo, what's up? Why are you still here?" "Goku, I'm in jail. In case you missed it, here it is again." The surviving Saiyans, including Jain, focused on Piccolo as he roared. She was still furious that the Namekian had seriously harmed her son's tummy. Bulma then said, "What about our date?" Naruto laughed a little before saying, "It'll be okay. I'll be back tonight for our evening out. I can teleport, so it shouldn't be a problem." Naruto teleported to Kami's lookout, winking at Bulma and resting a hand on Krillin and Piccolo's shoulders. "He has the ability to teleport? Wow. I wonder if I can persuade him to teach me that trick," Bulma wondered. Naruto was greeted by Kami, who grinned and asked, "You're a little late, aren't you?" declared Kami. "Do you know him, Kami?" Goku inquires. "Indeed, Goku. He was the first Saiyan I faced, and I believe he is the one who restored my powers." "Naruto, did you visit Namek?" "I'm delighted you're feeling better," Naruto said, sidestepping Kami's question. "Is it permissible for me to train with King Kai in the afterlife?" "King Yema has already given his consent for me to allow you both to cross in your physical bodies," Kami explained, "but there wasn't much he could have done to stop you." Naruto bowed before summoning Goku and himself to the afterlife using the magic he had learned from Kami. To everyone's surprise, Naruto arrived at Yema's desk and waved his hand and yelled, "Hello. Is this the afterlife?" "You inquired," Goku said, still with the same innocent surprise for which he was famous. Yema encouraged him to calm down since he must be Goku and Naruto. "We're here to receive training from King Kai," Naruto said with a smile. He knew Yema was afraid of him after the brief performance he gave on Earth. Even when he was with strong people like Naruto and Goku, he still felt insecure. "Yes, simply follow the Snake Way path." Naruto left before Yema could finish, remarking, "Last one there is a rotten vegetable." "Cheater!" shouted Goku as he pursued him. A strong gust of wind blew through the neighborhood, blowing the papers on Yema's desk all over the place. If they're that powerful, why would they want King Kai to train them? "You should get moving so you don't fall off." Yema shook his head and fixed his gaze on Piccolo and Krillin. "If you do it, you will spend forever in hell." While Naruto and Goku had already gotten more than halfway to King Kai's planet in a matter of seconds, Krillin and Piccolo exclaimed and started running up the route. It would take them days to complete the task. "What a small planet," he exclaimed as Goku and Naruto approached. After Naruto nodded in agreement and turned to look around, a short, stubby blue-skinned man with a set of antennas on top of his head approached them. "So you two are the first Super Saiyans to be born since the beginning of time," King Kai answered, looking expectantly at Naruto and Goku. "We've come to learn some technique from you," Goku exclaimed, stars flashing in his eyes. "I can train you too, but first you must pass my test," said King Kai, grinning and raising his finger. "What's that?" "Fighting. A workout, putting our strength, speed, and comprehension to the test, maybe even a key test?" Goku inquired, his face bright with anticipation. "You have to make me laugh," King Kai replied. "I go first then," Naruto muttered, shaking his head as Goku dropped to the ground. Naruto took a step forward as the tension between the two increased by the second, gulping and asking, "What do you call it that runs riot across the universe?" As a drop of perspiration trickled down his brow, he said. In response, King Kai raised his brow and questioned, "What?" "A feisty Frieza," Naruto exclaimed, his face flushed. A small sweat drop appeared on Goku's side of the face, and the silence was noticeable. In contrast, King Kai snorted and then burst out laughing. King Kai attempted to speak while snorting, writhing on the ground, and kicking his feet. "Ha ha ha, excellent work. Freezer is icy and tenacious, it's fun for me. Why does the eternal dragon, Shenron, always seem so grumpy?" Goku queried. "Why?" said King Kai, smiling. Goku replied, anticipating ridicule, "Because he always loses his balls after someone uses him up." "Okay. Although a little filthy, I'll teach you too with that one," King Kai began to exclaim. "Can I ask how long Frieza will take to get on Earth before we begin?" Naruto inquired. King Kai shifted his antenna to discover Frieza. "About 6.5 months." Goku and Naruto were able to skip the gravity training session and go straight to technique training because of their great power. Naruto had prepared for his date later that evening and had returned to Capsule Corp with the help of his immediate transmission. Naruto walked up to the door and knocked after fixing his cuffs. Naruto took care to shower and put on a good suit, and he looked extremely nice thanks to his past life's fashion talents. The door swung open to reveal a beaming Panchi as Naruto checked out and patted his hair using the reflection in the window. "It's been a while. I can't believe that young child who came here all those years ago has grown into a man, and such a handsome one too," she said before responding, "I can't believe that little boy who came here all those years ago became a man, and such a handsome one too." When Naruto heard Bulma shout, "Mom! Mom!" he smiled. "My date is not looking for a fight." Naruto noticed his future bride, who had short, ear-length hair with a long 5/3 split on top with bangs and a V-shaped haircut on the back of her head that terminated at her nape. Imagine Faye Valentine's Cowboy Bebop. She looked amazing with a one-piece black gown with a single shoulder strap, black stockings, and black stiletto heels. She wore glossed lips and 2 pearl-shaped earrings to draw attention to her eyes. Naruto cast a peek at her, his face heated. "So, where do you want to go?" Naruto inquired, holding out his hand. As Bulma entered the room, she wrapped her arm around his elbow and said, "Dinner sounds good. I know you're not from around here, so I chose a location. We can fly there. Just give me directions," Naruto said, scooping her up like a princess. Naruto made sure to take a senzu bean after arriving at a posh, pricey restaurant so he could control his Saiyan appetite and consume meals like a regular human, while Bulma managed to stammer out the directions while her face was beet red. They took a seat and put their food orders, and because they were both nervous, they ate quietly for a bit until Bulma decided to discover more about her dining companion. She wondered. "But what about them?" Naruto's response was flat. "Please tell me a little bit about yourself. I know Goku was brought to Earth to save him from the destruction of your planet, but I don't know anything about you," Bulma said while eating on a piece of beefsteak. "My race was known as Uzarus, or giant apes, in the early days of human history. So humans were regular-sized savage apes, and you guys were," Bulma exclaimed, recalling Goku's transformation during the full moon. "Savage apes?" Naruto giggled, referring to Earthing's old forefathers. "That's a fantastic analogy, and it may explain why our species can interbreed because we evolved from related species. As you indicated, certain Saiyans, like all evolving beings, adjusted their natures to suit a different path," and Bulma blushed slightly but continued to listen. "There was a spawn who finally became the ruler of the entire world. Some Saiyans were able to overcome their savage instincts and, in the end, attempted to change the ways of the remaining Saiyans," Naruto explained after tasting his lunch. Naruto groaned. "Our original planet was lost in a great war because we couldn't fight off the more ferocious Saiyans. They annihilated their own planet," Bulma exclaimed, her eyes widening. "A legendary being was created, but since he lacked the ability to manage his energy, he blew up, taking the planet with him." Naruto assumed that the legendary Super Saiyan had destroyed their original home planet. Bulma stated before tasting her wine, "That's a terrible concept, a being powerful enough to kill an entire planet." Naruto laughed at the thought. She had no idea he was capable of killing entire planets. Fortunately, the Saiyans were able to migrate to and conquer another world. Bulma furrowed her brow as she said, "Took over? Conquered, as I said, primitive. I'm sure you people have many wars and fought for living space as well," Vegeta said. Bulma nodded and stated, "True. Up until the appearance of the PTO's leader, King Cold, caught notice of this and subjugated our entire race, Naruto continued, taking another piece of his Dino steak. Saiyans progressed to become a reasonably advanced civilization. Since then, the Frost Demons have forced the Saiyans to labor for them, conquering planets before selling them to the highest bidder. Finally, Naruto gave her a brief overview of the Planetary Trade Organization. My story begins with my father's death. King was a dumb, untalented man who went so far as to put his own desires ahead of those of his people in order to prove himself to a god of destruction who was testing him. Bulma tilted her head, perhaps a god of destruction. He gave my father the order to find and deliver the universe's most comfortable pillow, and I'm not kidding when I say that, Naruto said solemnly. Bulma felt herself swaying and about to fall. A cushion? Really? Bulma's dramatic retort made Vegeta laugh, and he observed, Beerus is a truly egotistical being. If you give him some delicious food and a place to nap, he'll be content. If you treat him with the dignity he deserves, he will respect you more. The pillow wasn't the most important part of Beerus's test, Naruto explained as he put down his fork. Because of his inflated pride and vanity, my father imagined he could fool the god of disaster by replacing the pillows with phony ones. Now, if you were an all-knowing god like that, and someone tried to not only treat you disrespectfully but also cheat you, what would you do? Vegeta said. Bulma sighed as she realized she already knew the answer. Yep, that's exactly it, Naruto said. Beerus, who might have recognized some potential in the Saiyan race, and the Sanmi Beerus who might have easily gotten Frieza off our backs, lost interest in our species as a result of my father's actions. Our world exploded as a result of a few words, he said to Frieza. Bulma then said, a little dejectedly, so what does a god of destruction do? They take out common weeds in the same way as gardeners do. Or at least they should be. Ours is a little lax, Naruto replied, pointing to his chin, making sure he used the proper wording. Think about planets that are really horrible, rotten, and hopeless. They exist in the infinite expanse of space. As a result, the god of destruction eliminates those evil beings in order to keep their filth from spreading over the galaxy. What about this man named Frieza? Why was he allowed to act erratically? Bulma wondered. Normally, he would, but those who conduct many acts of mass destruction are also dealt with. Naruto answered by chewing into his dinosaur tail steak. But this Frieza needs to go, right? Why hasn't this Beerus killed him if he's destroying worlds left and right, according to you? Bulma said. I said typically as a result of this. Frieza is not only eliminating worlds, but also gathering powerful individuals, raising the mortal level of this universe. As a result, Beerus tolerates him. He even takes a break from time to let Frieza demolish some of the worlds on his to-destruction list. Naruto became uneasy when he realized he'd have to explain what the mortal level was and why it was important. Bulma inquired after learning about the 12 universes and Zeno-sama, do you know where we rank among the 12 universes? Naruto smiled and said, I believe I'm third from the bottom. Bulma exclaimed, isn't that horrible? Given the presence of a Super Saiyan, Naruto chuckled, I guess we have plenty of time to raise our mortal level. I have various plans to dramatically increase the mortal level in the next years, one of which is the construction of my kingdom planet in the Galactic Patrol. Bulma inquired, you have a brand new planet? Yes, your Earth's astronomers will start panicking out in a few days, Naruto joked. Hehehehe. Mysterious new planet appears, the headline is suddenly apparent to me. Bulma raised her brow as she sipped her wine. I think I got a little off track, Naruto joked. Interesting conversations tend to do that, and good company helps as well, Bulma said. Anyway, after the destruction of our planet, I realized Frieza was the one who did it and left to pick up Kakarot, Naruto smiled. However, when I arrived, I could discern that the warriors of this realm were capable of suppressing their force. I was also impressed with the Dino capsules. We don't even have something like that in space, Naruto said to Bulma. I inquired as to where we could locate the inventor of the technology, and the rest is history. I went to your location to construct a new spaceship, but Kakarot remained here, where it was safe and serene. We went on to train and battle the PTO. Why didn't you take Goku with you? Bulma reddened when Naruto gazed at her. This world was a better environment for him, Naruto smiled. We could strengthen him, but this world taught him tranquility and control. While we traveled to train and fight in space, Earth raised one of the most gifted martial artists in history. Bulma smiled, kind of a Goku fan? Respect is a better word. Most Saiyans don't enjoy fighting as much as he does. Instead, they use it for darker purposes. Kakarot is pure-hearted. I don't detect any gloom in him. Though he's a little stupid, Bulma joked. Naruto joined in with a chuckle before saying, "Yep, can't deny that one." Throughout the night, the two talked about a variety of topics. After Bulma paid the bill, which made Naruto grimace, he smiled and stated, "I'll pay you back." "Real gentleman, aren't you?" Bulma asked, smiling. "I'll pay you back and then some," Vegeta laughed. He grinned and grabbed Bulma's hand, saying, "Lane fact, I'll pay you back right now." He then whisked her to planet Salada's new moon, where there was beautiful greenery everywhere and a powerful river that flowed all across the moon's surface into two big bodies of freshwater. Senzu beanstalks covered entire woods, while numerous creatures and animals roamed the moon's surface. There were entire cities erected and outfitted, but no occupants. "I used the Namekian Dragon Balls to wish for this planet and moon to take the place of Venus in this solar system," Naruto said as he pulled Bulma close to him, smiling. "By the way, we're on the moon. I'm thinking of naming it Luna. Can we go there?" Bulma asked, looking up at the vast blue and green planet Salada. "Can you handle 20 times Earth's normal gravity?" Naruto asked, smiling. Bulma shrugged her shoulders. "This is why I made the moon habitual as well. It's smaller, closer to Earth's size," Naruto chuckled. "Humans and Saiyans can coexist here, and it would be a perfect site for Saiyan women to give birth. I don't want them to be placed in nursing chambers like in the old Saiyan Empire." Bulma grinned as she examined Naruto's jaw's tone corners. She couldn't take her gaze away from his lips. Naruto then turned to Bulma and grinned before kissing her. Naruto made sure to be kind and slowly released Bulma, keeping his hand on hers and saying, "Didn't want this date to end without letting you know how much I'm interested in you. I would definitely do it again." Bulma nodded and looked at Naruto with a bewildered expression. "Pick you up tomorrow night?" Naruto replied after teleporting them back to her residence. "At the same time?" Bulma smiled as she walked back into the house, nodding her head. Naruto then transported back to King Kai's to rest before continuing his training. The next day passed, and the two Saiyans kept making progress in their training. King Kai couldn't believe how gifted they were. Later that night, Naruto took Bulma on another date, which finished with a few more kisses. The week flew by in a blur. When Krillin and Piccolo arrived, their strength levels had increased over the journey, from 220 to 780 for Krillin and 425 to 900 for Piccolo. When they arrived at King Kai's planet, the two appeared weary and tired, and after being introduced to the stronger gravity, they both collapsed in an effort to stand up. Goku and Naruto kept training, while the other two concentrated on adjusting to the higher gravity. Piccolo couldn't think of a joke to save his life, but King Kai agreed to train Krillin because he made him laugh. After days of struggle, Naruto finally took pity on the unfortunate Namekian and offered him a hand, but only if he gave up his desire to conquer Earth. "Why should I?" answered Piccolo, grinning. "Because you're wasting your potential, and you and I both know you can outperform your father in talent," Naruto replied honestly. That darkness that Kami expelled was the worst mistake of his life. Instead of confronting his inner demons, he divided himself and excommunicated his darker side when he should have been training to do so. "Now, Namekian, can you overcome the darkness in your heart and outperform your predecessor?" Naruto didn't care what Piccolo thought of him as he said, "I heard there's something called a Super Namekian. In fact, an elder I know by the name Guru is one. Although the Dragon Clan has an advantage, both clans of your species can achieve this form by reaching a higher state of consciousness. However, the thing that keeps them from evolving past this point is that they all give in to the darkness in their hearts," Piccolo said, tilting his head in amazement. "Dragon sages like Guru are naturally docile, making it easier to become a Super Namekian at the expense of battle power. You are of the warrior clan. If you can win against that darkness within yourself, I'm sure you can even surpass the Super Namekians in power," Naruto said, pointing to Piccolo's chest. To be honest, Naruto was only speculating here. He had no idea if this was true, and it was all based on a hunch he had about the Namekian species. For one thing, he couldn't figure out why Kami and King Piccolo were so frail. He reasoned that failing the Super Namekian transformation must have had a negative impact on the two. His second major indication was that a single Namekian had to be the most powerful entity in existence. Why? Because the Super Dragon Balls had the power to reverse Zeno-sama's wish. Remembering his Dragon Ball lore, the everlasting dragon cannot fulfill wishes that exceed the creator of the Dragon Balls. That is, the creator of the Super Dragon Balls has the same, if not greater, power as Zeno-sama. If being a Super Namekian is the first step, becoming a Namekian god may be the next. But why couldn't Slug, the only certified Super Namekian warrior, move to the next level of power? According to the lore surrounding the Super Namekians, they are easily corrupted and succumb to their own vanity, forgetting themselves and drowning in their newfound strength. It was this dilemma that led Naruto to believe that Super Namekians were unable to advance because they were unable to transcend their darker urges. Those who believe the unidentified Namekian is a Super Namekian are mistaken. Kami and Piccolo merged are not Super Namekians, and while he was roughly as strong as one, he never fully reached that stage. Before ever undergoing that change, the nameless Namekian halted the processes by dividing with the darkness in his heart. As a result, rather than just separating their bodies, they experience a rebirth. The nameless Namekian had to be a hybrid with strong fighting abilities and the ability to create Dragon Balls. When your ancestor split, he divided his evil half with his warrior powers and remained a member of the Dragon Clan. This must be the reason you're so much weaker than your last existence. Naruto believed that if Kami had tamed and destroyed the darkness in his heart, he may have evolved into a true Super Namekian, whose further evolution would not have been cut short. Perhaps the original Super Namekian god wished that individuals with evil intentions would never acquire the apex form of their species. That could also be a plausible explanation. Unfortunately, the nameless Namekians existed before. Before any of it could be revealed, the nameless Namekian vanished. Naruto couldn't even fathom the ramifications of an evil Namekian god endowed with the ability to create Super Dragon Balls. The notion of what they might or might not do to the universe, it was simply too terrifying to contemplate. After describing his notion to Piccolo, who seemed interested yet skeptical, Naruto replied, "You could only gain and have nothing to lose, so why not give it a shot? If it can help me beat Goku, I'll at least try," Piccolo remarked, shaking his shoulders. Naruto smiled and told Piccolo a story to make King Kai laugh, but Piccolo's face became red, and he exclaimed, "Do I really have to say that?" Naruto agreed with a nod of his head. How come Beerus's attendant failed to stop the destruction of a certain planet? Piccolo asked King Kai. King Kai raised an eyebrow. He held a hatred against Beerus for destroying his planet. However, what Piccolo said next knocked him out. He had no choice but to take a whiz. King Kai finally broke down and agreed to let Piccolo train alongside the others. Goku and Naruto have already learned that all King Kai would teach them over the following 5 months: the Spirit Bomb, memory reading, the Kaioken, improved ki mastery, and some decent martial arts. Naruto had put the Kaioken method out of his mind and instead focused on improving his powers. He was applying what he had learned about spellcrafting to construct a new spell based on the Kaioken. He decided to take the 5 stat-boosting spells and 1 battle spell and demolish the spell structures. Tension, acceleration, combat, party, all agility is doubled. Tension buff combat, party, single improves your defense by 50%. Tension, kabuff, combat, party, all the defense is increased by 25%. Oomph, tension, combat, party, single increases your attack power by a factor of 2. Tension, fen spell combat, single, protects against all sorts of magic. The 5 above demonstrated no difficulty in combining into a single spell, but the last one was crucial. Magic burst with tension combat, enemy, all a massive explosion that deals around 2 points of damage for every 1 megapixel spent. Naruto immediately destroyed Magic Burst, having aligned all the spells in a similar manner that mirrored the key technique Kaioken. Naruto's ingenuity shone brightly as he pieced together the hints from King Kai's instructions and succeeded in devising the method. Furthermore, the recent assistance Naruto obtained from Guru's lessons helped him to better grasp his mana crafting talents. Naruto grinned as he practiced his new magic, Koro Ken, Spiritual Rising Fist. Combat, boost, single. The spell may multiply power in the same way that the Kaioken does without placing strain on the body. Mana drains 10,000 megapixels per second for ×2, and 20,000 megapixels per second for ×3. The progression remains the same for each increased multiple. So if I use x20, I'll drain 210,000 per second. Naruto stood up and used it, his body immediately coated in a bright blue aura. The area rocked as his power surged. Everyone gazed in awe as he transformed into a Super Saiyan and his power continued to skyrocket. To perform this technique, he would not need to perfect the Super Saiyan states to the No Stamina Loss stage, or SSB, as he did with the Kaioken. However, the drain on his mana was no laughing matter, he was just a tenth of his maximum ki level. So, in Super Saiyan form, his power level had reached 2.250 billion, providing Vegeta with a maximum of 225 million megapixels. Every minute, Vegeta displayed his X20 Keikro Ken spell, who suffered a loss of 12.6 million megapixels per second. What was that, Naruto? He exclaimed as he paused the technique. At the same time, King Kai and Goku inquired. Because the Kaioken does not suit me, I created a spell that is similar to it. King Kai was taken aback by Vegeta's response. Magic, you say? Just like Baba's spells? Goku inquired. Similar, yes, said Naruto. What a genius, exclaimed one. I can't believe he was able to change my technique like that, exclaimed King Kai. Well, as long as I'm in the mastered Super Saiyan form, I can do that too. Goku laughed. Goku activated his Kaioken X20 and used it. Piccolo and Krillin could feel the height of Goku's power for the first time since they arrived, as the ground around them began to shake. Piccolo was more determined than ever to learn the Kaioken because Goku's current limit is Kaioken is 20, and he risks injuring his body. Piccolo, on the other hand, has improved regeneration in a body that might propel him to even greater levels of the Kaioken technique. He could be able to do it 50 times, 100 times, or even 1000 times. If I just get to 50, I'll be able to match the strength of this Super Saiyan form. However, I would need to multiply it by 1000 to get to his Super Saiyan Kaioken state. Is becoming a Super Namekian the only way for me to compete with Son Goku? Piccolo gritted his teeth. Krillin had barely managed to use X2 after 6 months of training, but he had made significant development in his talents, far more than he would have in canon. Piccolo has a new power level of 15,000 now. Krillin now has a power level of 10,000. Naruto was pleased with everyone's training and suggested that, because Frieza could arrive any day, they return to Earth and use his training room to speed up those who are weaker but still want to fight. A purple and white Faust demon stood halfway across the Milky Way, peering out at a lifeless planet. His eyes glowed with excitement, and a naughty grin spread across his purple lips. A young soldier from the Point O ascended the bridge of his flagship as the Frost Demon peered out at the desolate planet before him. Saluting the Frost Demon, the blonde-haired, pale blue-skinned soldier bowed on one knee and declared, Lord Cooler, we have destroyed all life forms on the planet and harvested the seed before destroying the tree. How many did you collect, Salza? As he turned around, Cooler said. Unfortunately, those Crusher pirates ate a lot of them and wasted the majority of them, Salza explained. How many did you collect? Cooler asked again, this time with a colder and more threatening tone. Sir, only one of you remained. Salza winced as she held out a cloth containing the fruit of might and awaited Cooler's retribution. Cooler waved his hand and drew them into his hand, tugging the material open with his key. Cooler picked up the surface of the skin, which was light orange in color and resembled the durian fruit. Cooler opened his lips and ate the fruit with only a couple of chews after a cursory sniff. Cooler felt his ki explode inside his body as the fruit slipped down his throat. Ha ha ha! Cooler exclaimed in joy. His power had risen multiple times after eating the fruit. His initial power level was 470 million, and his new power level had peaked around 7.125 billion, multiplying his power level by 15 times. Ha ha ha, I am the most powerful being alive. Even Father can't stop me now, Cooler declared as he felt his newfound strength expand. Another of Cooler's men entered the bridge and bowed, saying, Lord Cooler, Frieza's trajectory and destination have been confirmed by our ship's computer. Frieza's ship is on its way to Earth, a low-level planet. The greatest documented power level on the globe is 10 based on scans conducted 80 years ago. What's my little brother up to? Why would he even bother going to such a weak planet? Cooler wondered. Sir, the Earth just so happens to be the perfect environment for growing the Tree of Might. The soldier offered his voice. Plot a course for Earth, said Cooler, smiling. I haven't seen my brother in a long time. Cooler grabbed the Tree of Might seed in his hand and began laughing as their spaceship sped off towards Earth, and the warriors nodded and returned to work. Asterisk 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 Vegeta appeared at Goku's residence and greeted everyone. Because Bardock was in control of the timeless training grounds, and because they chose to reside next to Goku and Chi-Chi, the rest of the Saiyans did as well. Naruto and Goku were taken aback to discover that they suddenly possessed 4 new Super Saiyans: Bardock, Jiren, Raditz, and Nappa, who had all obtained their new forms one after the other. Only Bardock and Raditz had mastered the Super Saiyan form or were close to it, given that they were both still in the Super Saiyan stage. Chi-Chi and Gohan had grown in strength as well, although they were still a bit short of becoming Super Saiyans. Goku was pleased to see so many powerful opponents, and he was even more pleased to see how much his family had grown. Everyone's new starting power level: 1.5 million for Chi-Chi, 1.1 million for Gohan, Bardock 6 million, Jiren, 14 million, 15.9 million Raditz, 13.4 million Nappa, million Turles. Naruto hurled Krillin and Piccolo inside the training grounds and increased the time difference to the maximum speed of time dilation. Then he ordered Goku to take Turles, Chi-Chi, and Gohan to Namek in order to unlock their potential. When they returned, they all had a power level of 7-8 million, which was steadily increasing. He threw them back into the training grounds and waited for their power levels to return to normal. So, save from the occasional training session, Vegeta and Goku took it easy for the next few days. They spent the majority of their time with their partners. Naruto appeared inside the Brief family and discovered Bulma working on one of the PTO flag ships that Naruto had confiscated, as well as all of the extra equipment including his regeneration pods, navigation gears, and engines. Bulma jumped as he sneaked up behind her and wrapped his arms around her waist and held her, but she grinned when she realized it was Naruto. "Are you back from training?" Bulma inquired. Naruto smiled and buried his face into Bulma's neck. He saw that he was now significantly taller than Bulma. Naruto felt relieved that his life choices had allowed him to be at least as tall as Goku. Perhaps the lighter gravity is why Broly and Raditz grew so tall. After all, I've spent most of my life on planets with extreme gravity levels. I guess I'll have to go pick them up someday. Naruto laughed as he remembered Broly. "So you want to spend the night?" Bulma asked, turning around. "Oh my, I forgot to refill my prescription." "I'm fine with it," Naruto said, smiling. "Huh?" Bulma flushed at the suggestion. "You willing to become a Saiyan?" Vegeta asked, his grin widening. Bulma's flush spread all the way down her neck as she remarked, "I told you we'd have to have a child for that to happen." Bulma's theory proved correct after they slept together for the first time. Naruto wanted to make sure they didn't have Trunks yet, and despite taking only birth control pills, she didn't become a Saiyan. "So, why don't you just become mine already?" Naruto inquired, a mischievous smirk on his face. "Did you just propose?" replied Bulma, blushing. "Would you like to be my queen?" Naruto asked, nodding his head. Bulma responded with a frantic and amusing reaction, her facial emotions shifting from startled to thrilled to be embarrassed. She then buried her face in his chest, mumbling, "MMHMM." "What exactly was that?" Naruto inquired sarcastically. Bulma grasped his garments, lifted her head slightly, and exclaimed, "Yes. Vegeta, please marry you. You're happy now. I'm not one for jewelry, and I don't exactly know what good tastes are when it comes to picking out a ring, so I just got a couple of golden bands," Vegeta said with a smile and a brief kiss. Naruto took the engagement rings from his pocket and placed them in her hand. Because of all the spacefaring technologies Naruto supplied Capsule Corporation, they ended up gaining even more money by producing other technological advancements. Healing pods were sent to hospitals, scouters were distributed to law enforcement, upgraded engines that could run anyplace, and energy reactors for clean energy were distributed. As you might expect, money was the least of their concerns, so they basically gave Naruto a black credit card and told him to spend his portion on whatever he liked. "You know I don't care about that stuff," Bulma said, holding out her hand. "Your words don't match your expressions," Naruto said as she put one of her rings on her finger. Bulma's expression brightened as she placed the second ring on his finger and murmured, "Shut up and kiss me." Naruto smiled and hugged Bulma before kissing her for several minutes. Bulma began to cry pleasantly, so Vegeta took her up and asked, "Do you want to go to bed now?" Bulma nodded before saying, "Let me take a shower. Only if you let me join," grinned Naruto. Bulma didn't even have a chance to react before he teleported her to the restroom. As Naruto began to remove her top, Bulma pulled him into a kiss. Vegeta noticed her white laced bra holding back her busty image as she paused to remove her top. Bulma returned to kissing and began to lift Vegeta's shirt while taking her pants down. Naruto switched on the water and set it to shower while Bulma ripped off the stretchy jumpsuit top and began to remove his pants. Naruto took Bulma into the shower and proceeded to kiss her before slowly lowering her hips onto his member as her legs were wrapped around his waist. Bulma whimpered as she felt her lover suffocate her. She moved her hips back and forth while the shower water lathered her body, making her skin gleam. When he made love to his girlfriend, Naruto struggled with strength control. He had to be careful with Bulma, or she would take over. Bulma moaned in surprise and bit down on her lip before her first orgasm of the night when he leaned back slightly and began to pump lightly. Naruto grinned as he felt her shake. Witnessing his arrogant demeanor caused Bulma to frown before pulling him down. Bulma smiled as she placed her hands on his chest and began to rise and lower her waist as quickly as she could. Naruto responded by softly thrusting within her as far as he could while his hands rotated on her breasts. Naruto placed his mouth over her nipple and lightly bit down, causing Bulma to groan loudly in reaction. Naruto could feel himself approaching, so he began to assist her and up his pace, to which Bulma replied, "Harder, it's okay." Naruto's hair stood on edge, so he seized her hands and clasped his fingers with hers. Naruto began to move even faster, smashing his hips down on the ground to the point where Bulma's face was in a cherry-red trance. Bulma wrapped her legs around his bottom and shrieked, "I am coming." He felt her press down on his member. Naruto's felt himself let go and fill her full, and Bulma moaned out as she fell forward, quivering as she felt his load warm her insides. Bulma became aware of a tingling sensation in her tailbone and was shocked to notice an extra appendage moving behind her back. Naruto smiled with a lovely emotion because he understood what this signified, but Bulma's hair and tail remained the same vivid blue color. He wasn't sure if this was normal given Chi-Chi had black hair to begin with, but he began to suspect that Bulma's hair color gene had evidently outcompeted the Saiyan's genetic marker. "I have a tail, and this strength, wow, do all Saiyans feel like this?" Naruto said as Bulma examined her body. Bulma began to cry as she realized she was now expecting a child. "I'm not done yet," Naruto said as he sat up. Bulma eeked when Naruto began to move, and the two delighted themselves for several hours longer. Bulma was laying on top of Naruto's chest, sleeping deeper than she had ever slept in her life, when they finally finished. Naruto sighed happily as he fell asleep in her embrace, pleased with his life and wife. The two spent the majority of the next day together. Bulma was looking at blood samples of her own while Vegeta chatted to her about various topics. Vegeta only hesitated when he felt Krillin and Piccolo return from Namek, stronger than before. Naruto offered Bulma a large quantity of senzu beans to help her control her hunger, and then kissed her before saying, "I'll be right back." Naruto teleported to Goku's house and found Krillin and Piccolo standing next to each other, their power levels about 13 million. Naruto smiled and nodded in agreement. He was going to say something when their solar system was invaded by a tremendous ki. "He's here," exclaimed Naruto as he grinned. "Incredible, if we couldn't turn Super Saiyan, then," Goku said, looking up at the sky. "He would kill everyone you know and love, Kakarot," Vegeta replied. To think there was someone so strong in this universe, Piccolo clutched his hand. Looking over at Piccolo, Naruto noted that his manner had changed and assumed that his time on Namek had helped to calm him down. Krillin emanated a self-assurance that Naruto had never seen before. Both Krillin and Piccolo had spent over 10 years within the training grounds, competing with the other Saiyans in constant combat to improve their abilities and talents. To catch up to everyone else, they had to practice and battle harder every step of the way. The tremendous boost in strength they received when their potentials were unleashed demonstrated how much they had gone through. "Listen up, Frieza has an entire army coming with him. He won't spare your family or your world," Naruto continued. "Frieza will try to kill everyone who does not bow to him. He might even kill you for shits and giggles. Kakarot, I know you don't approve of killing your opponents, but if you hold back against any of these PTO members, innocent people will pay for it," Naruto stated to Goku. "Think about it this way, you may be killing them, but their souls will pass on to the afterlife and get an earlier start on reincarnating with a clean soul," Naruto replied, seeing Goku's internal struggle. Naruto then explained to Goku what happens to sinners who wind up at the home for infinite losers, a place that existed for all sinners beyond redemption. Naruto then gave Goku a brief overview of what happened to sinners who end up at the home for infinite losers, a place that existed for all sinners beyond salvation. Everyone shook, especially Piccolo, who, unbeknownst to Naruto, was strengthened in his determination to purge the darkness from his heart. Naruto then transferred everyone to a desolate wasteland before increasing his power level to 50,000. The Saiyan King's ki alerted everyone on the flagship who wore a scouter. Frieza requested that his men land nearby and wait for his chance to face the traitor who had nearly entirely destroyed his army in this region of space. To be continued.
That's it for this part, guys. Thanks for listening to this video. I hope you did enjoy the story, and if you did, like, share and subscribe for more, and thank you all for help and support, and have a great day.